Good day and thanks for tuning in. My name is Mike Cluitt. You are watching Your TV Halton, which is truly local television. And the show is here today. And I have the co-host with the most, and that ain't no boast. We're in our red, we're in our white. His name is Clark Somerville. Clark, how you doing, eh?
How you doing, Mike? Well, that was a great old hockey game last night, And it was good to see the boys. They dug into the corner, and that Connor McDavid, top corner. Oh my gosh, for the win. It was great. I was away. I was out last night. I know by the time people see this, it'll be a few days from now. But I came in and it was halfway through the third night, and I have not watched any of these games because I really haven't had any interest. So I thought I'm going to sit down and I watched, and I thought I got to watch in overtime because I could see the level of intensity in the game. And you knew halfway through the third, the next goal won, no matter what. It was just that type of game. And they brought it home. Way to go. Way to go. And to Premier Trump, nanner, nanner, nanner.
No, I was skeptical. I'll be the first to admit, or one of the ones to admit, that I was skeptical of this format. I thought it was during the All-Star break, because you'd have your stars, they'd have a good time, and goals would be like 9-8 for whoever team, and it really didn't turn out that way. The Four Nations, this format's been fantastic, and
Yeah.
and again, within the first 9 seconds of the Canada-US game,
the other night, yeah.
By the first game, by the Larton and G's by, as Sanufis would say, the gloves were dropped, the fights were on, and you knew this meant something. And finishing off the tournament, when we found out it was going to be Canada, United States,
yeah,
this was a must-watch game, and it just proves to me a couple of things. Connor McDavid is probably the best player in hockey right now.
And I've seen him a couple times play, and the one time I saw him, he must not have been on his game because he was flat. He was flat. And I thought, wow, what is it? Why is everyone raving this? And then I saw him the second time when I saw him like a year later, and he was at the top of his game, and it's wow. Mike, I have to say, what really bothers me, can I do the Columbo? You know what bothers me? It bothers me to see people booing a national anthem. We may have a disagreement with the Premier Trump, and we may have a disagreement with the U.S. government and that stuff. We don't boo anthems. We got to be classier than that. We have to rise above that because it's a never-ending self-fulfilling prophecy of getting nowhere. Let the players support the players, cheer them loudly, but don't boo an anthem.
Oh, absolutely. I totally was so disheartened on that game when you hear the fans of Montreal just booing loudly, and during last night's anthems, there was a smattering of the boos, but you could still hear a few people cheering, and then the Canadian fans took over with the national anthem near the end and sung it loud and proud. But I totally agree with you. If your beef is with a politician, if your beef is with whatever, share your beef with them. That's fine. Do
Take
not
it
boo
outside,
national
right?
anthems because you're booing a nation of millions, and that group, I can tell you right now, probably doesn't speak for the other 40 million Canadians
Yeah,
as well. I
and
totally agree with you on that one.
you're absolutely. Producer extraordinaire, please mark down that at this time in the show that Mike agreed with me that I was right. We need
Actually, Clark agreed with me because I was going to bring it up. That's fine.
Well, no, but I got there first. First, it's like
so Connor
he
McDavid
hit me back.
Yeah, Connor McDavid, definitely the best player right now. And if you could have the chance of you still got it, Sidney Crosby, he gets that one there as well.
Yeah.
Sidney Crosby still has it. For all the talks and people say, oh, he's getting washed up, he's getting old. No, watch those games during this tournament. He still has it.
Yeah, and
And
it was, nice to see a win, for that as well, and it was great. But hey, I'm like you. I thought this format. I thought, oh, it's just another made-for-TV event. Who cares? Two big changes that have happened in sports. Welcome to Sport Fest. I'm the Mike, the Hammer Hancock, and the one is college football in the U.S. changed how they're doing their playoff format this year, and they came up with a winner this year. It used to be I know not to go down a rabbit hole, but it used to be the only way a team would ever win the national championship in the US for college football, they had to be undefeated. That doesn't happen anymore because of the way that they have actually changed it, and it's now more of a playoff style. And it's great. I think it's far better for the game. The Four Nations Cup is far better than an all-star game that, like you said, comes out with a 9-8 score where they don't care. There was passion. There was passion being played by these teams last night, and that's really great to see. But Mike,
And that goes for Finland and Sweden as well. So
oh,
it's not just
absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
when I
Oh,
was able to watch most of
100%.
the games, everybody was into it, very passionate, and I know it's a lead into the NHL players returning to Olympics
Yep,
for 2026. So what a way to tie this one in, and if I dare them to go try to go back to that old All-Star format.
they
Uh,
can. They
Forward.
can.
They can't do that. It's got to be this way and moving forward. It's like I said, the format's been fantastic. So
Yep.
kudos to that. Kudos to Team Canada. Show your Team Canada pride. Be proud of our country. Be proud of who we are as a nation. And if there's a national anthem playing for another country, don't you dare boo it. I'm sorry. That's just wrong.
Whenever I'm at a baseball game and they play the U.S. anthem, I sing. And I'm not a US citizen, so I don't put my hand in my heart like they do, but I will sing their anthem. I will always sing an anthem if I know it, if I'm at any event that is going on. I will sing another country's anthem. And it's out of respect. And it's because I would hope that if they were in a stadium here, they would show the same respect. But Mike, speaking of all things Canadian,
What you got next there?
what you got next? Let's talk Buy Canadian. So here's the whole thing has been very strange the last couple months because people now know about tariffs and what they are, and I don't think people quite grasp that the U.S. administration wants to get rid of income tax and replace it with tariffs, which is kind of what their end game is, so that it's a consumer pays, and the consumer does pay. It's not Canada doesn't pay with it. But it's been very interesting to see because since December, basically, or early January, we have seen the federal, provincial, municipal sectors have been united on how do we fight tariffs. The threat of tariffs to businesses in Halton Hills. I know businesses in Halton Hills that were minutes away from signing contracts with major US companies. Obviously, I can't name who they are or what the business is, to suddenly have them told it's put on hold until we know what's going on with the tariffs. The one company, the contract was worth $4 or $5 million. They had invested $250,000 doing, and it's a food product. They had invested $250,000 getting it everything ready for it. They don't ever get that money back. And now it's on hold. They had spent all that time, and it came down to the threat of tariffs were doing that as well. But here is Clark's wish list. With the aluminum and steel tariffs, they should not put a reciprocal one on things coming from the US. Though I'd put a hell of a tariff on Teslas, but that's a whole other story. But what we should be doing is having the federal, provincial, municipal governments be mandated, and the MUSH sector is the MUSH sector is municipalities, universities, schools, and hospitals, where they have to use Canadian steel and aluminum first. Because we have trade deals and we play by the rules, the other ones don't. So if we had them where we had to use Canadian steel and aluminum first, if those manufacturers couldn't accommodate that right away, with the billions of dollars that are spent by that for roads, bridges, schools, everything like that, they would quickly start doing it. Because I know in Halton Hills, we tried to buy guardrails and the only company we could get them from was from New Jersey. They weren't made in Canada. Simple as a guardrail. So that's my thought. But I think the other thing, Mike, isn't it wonderful when you go into the stores and you now see these little maple leaves appearing for the products? My wife was telling me that when people are shopping, they are telling her when they go to check out, it's taking me an extra 15 minutes to shop because I'm looking at labels. And they didn't have that. Like, we're not going to be able to grow mandarin oranges here. They're going to come from China. We're not going to be able to grow bananas here. They're going to come from Costa Rica. A group I'm involved with, we're selling coffee as a fundraiser. And somebody said, it's not US coffee, is it? And I said, well, I hate to tell you, they don't grow coffee in the US. It's coming from Guatemala, Nicaragua, and other countries in South America, Brazil. So, Mike,
Well,
I
it's
think it's
obviously
great that
inspired
people
a
are
couple
looking.
of people to, yeah, it's inspired people to put together some apps
Yeah,
that you can scan the codes in, and now, as you mentioned, retailers are now putting the stickers on their products, and people are paying more attention. But with that, there's also a little bit of misinformation that's also going on because I think the moment the tariffs were talked about, I think there were like three or four different spreadsheets of companies, who they are,
yeah,
if they're American or not. And then when you go through and scrutinize a few of those sheets, many of them were wrong. So
yes,
be careful if buying Canadian is fantastic. Buy your local products, absolutely fantastic. We're heading into the springtime, and that's my optimist. Heading into springtime, our farmers markets are going to be starting soon. This is a perfect time. If you haven't been to a farmers market going
yes.
forward, get to a farmers market this year. Let's focus on where it is. But I think you had mentioned it sort of off air that there are a lot of people, maybe an American company, but there's a local business owner behind it who
There's a
employs
franchisee.
people,
There's, yeah,
franchisee. So let's not punish the local McDonald's or a franchisee, whoever that, because they are employing Canadians, they're employing people that are local in the community, they're making, and they're also donating lots of money back to the community as well. So
yes.
you could be doing a little hindrance there. So be careful, shop local, shop Canadian, but be very careful about the impact of or
Shop
making donations.
smart.
Shop smart. That's a better way to put it.
Yeah, and it's true, Mike, because you look at like our local McDonald's franchise. It is McDonald's Canada. It is from a US corporation. All the franchisees here are Canadian, and they pour hundreds of thousands of dollars per location back into the community. I always tell people is look at the name on the back of the jerseys when you go to a hockey game, and they're the ones you really do need to support. Now, Mike, after the break, because I know we're going to
Mhm.
be coming up to that, because I can see
We are
producer
rapidly approaching.
extraordinaire is starting to say that we have to wrap up. I do want to talk about snow. I want
That
to
was
talk about
definitely
snow.
on our
I
things to do
want to
list.
talk about snow removal. Yeah, and I know we do also have to bring some sad news and that as well, but we'll start with snow and then we can segue.
What else is there to say is we'll be right back.